Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and I actually have my dad with me. We are sitting in the 2023 Toyota Crown in the Hybrid Max powertrain, and in this video we're going to see if the Hybrid Max Turbo 4 is actually good enough to win him over, because he intentionally bought the last of the Toyota Avalons that were replaced by this Crown because he wanted a V6. Stay tuned for his full thoughts on this Toyota Crown. And then, yeah.
It's in drive?
Yes.
And this is electric now?
You are currently in electric mode. And I've actually got it set to, there are multiple different drive modes.
Yeah.
There's Eco, Comfort, Normal, Sport, and Sport Plus that give you different varying degrees of electricity and gas power.
Yeah. Well, we usually just leave it on Eco and,
Yep.
and Avalon. How do I tell if I'm on it?
So that gauge cluster screen over there,
Yeah.
that red line is telling you that engine is coming, power is coming from the gas engine and going to the battery and the rear wheels, because there's an electric motor on the rear wheels, and also to the battery. Now it looks like, and it kind of dances between all of those.
Yeah, well, I let off the gas there for a
Yeah,
second.
when it's all blue, it's all electric. But you can see the battery is kind of empty right now, so.
Yeah.
And here, I'm gonna go ahead and bump you in if you want to give it a little gas. Put you in Sport Plus.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me on this one. I really wanted to get both you and Mom in this one because y'all did buy your Toyota Avalon, because you told me you wanted a V6. And I get it, it is simpler. There's less things to go wrong. But I also knew that this was coming out at the time that you bought your Avalon, and I knew that this had more power. So for pure, like, passing power, highway cruising, stuff like that, I knew that this was going to actually be superior to the V6 in your Avalon. We'll get into all of that. But first, I had to ask, like I do with Holly, what do you think of the look of this?
Yeah, it looks good. I like it.
It's a very different vehicle, for sure, from your Avalon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your Avalon's a little more traditionally styled. This almost doesn't even look like it has a trunk back in the back. And then inside, I feel like, having been in many Lexus products, that the build, the design, the materials in here really feels very Lexus-like to me. How do you think it compares to your Avalon?
There's quite a bit of familiarity as far as controls on the steering wheel and the looks, other kind of looks.
It's why you stay within a brand, right?
Yeah.
So you can get in vehicle to vehicle and know how to work it. But we've got a lot of comforts in here, heated and ventilated front seats that you can put on automatic mode, and it'll look at the outside temperature and what you have it set on in here, and it'll do it all for you if you want it to, or you could turn them off and on at will. But the real question here is, how does this thing drive, and what is it like getting in and out of it versus your Avalon? So the big news of this platform when they released it was that it sits up taller than the Avalon. And as far as ground clearance is measured, it's only half an inch taller than the Avalon, but you and I got a tape measure and a level out, and there's about 4 inches difference in the seating position in this Crown versus the Avalon. Did you feel like it was easier getting into it?
Well, I don't know. I just got in it the one time, so...
one of those things you're going to have to kind of live with a little bit.
Yeah.
I've noticed a few times stepping out of it thinking I was in a car and realizing, no, I am up a little bit higher. So being able to measure it today and actually get a number of 4 inches, just about 4 inches taller, I can attest to that being absolutely true, I do feel like it is a much higher vehicle than the half-inch of additional ground clearance would lead you to believe. But getting out here, cruising at speed, we've got highly textured pavement, we've got a little bit of wind noise. How do you think this compares to your Avalon as far as cruising comfortability?
I'm pretty close to the same, I guess, for the little bit I've driven it.
Yeah, I've been thoroughly impressed. I've got a full video where I actually have his Avalon and do a side-by-side comparison if you want to go check that out on the channel. But this definitely is a plush ride for the sedan segment. I mean, we just hit a bump. You felt it, but it wasn't like jarring or anything like that. We're about to turn on the road here. I'm going to go ahead and bump you into Sport S Plus to see if this Turbo 4 hybrid powertrain has all the oomph that you would expect from your V6. Toyota claims 5.7 seconds 0 to 60 with premium fuel, which you can put in this, but they only recommend 87 regular octane in it. But does it feel like it's got plenty of get up and go?
Yeah, for that little bit of sampling I got, there was a lot of noise.
Yes.
But the get up and go needs to be like at 70 miles an hour, and you want to pass somebody on a little 2-lane road. But you get up and go then.
Yeah. This does have a traditional 6-speed automatic transmission versus Toyota has been using e-CVTs in some of their older hybrid systems. I like how there's actual 6-speed automatic in this one because we do have the Hybrid Max. And that coupled with, if you need it, you have pedals on the back of the steering wheel that you can downshift to do an emergency pass. But in eco mode, this does kind of detune the power a little bit versus Sport S Plus, but it does definitely have the power equivalent to that V6 that's in your Avalon. In fact, I've got the power numbers right here. So your Avalon with its 3.5 liter V6 makes 301 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque. This makes 340 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. And like I said, can do 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. Fuel economy in your Avalon from the EPA is rated 22 city, 31 highway, 25 combined. And Toyota must have been targeting those numbers because in this, the Hybrid Max, which is tuned more for power than it is economy, very similar, 29 city, so 7 mpg plus, 32 highway, 30 combined. So better numbers across the board and more power in this Hybrid Max system. And something that you and I had talked about before getting in and driving is this is an all-wheel drive vehicle where your Avalon is front-wheel drive. There is no real direct connection to the rear wheels from the gas motor up front because there is a water-cooled electric motor on the rear axle which supplies additional power back there. You've got a power meter in front of you in the gauge cluster that tells you what's doing what, where the power's coming from and going to. But you get better fuel economy, more power, and traction at all 4 wheels here in this Crown versus the V6 being old school technology. It's a gas engine, powers the front wheels and does a fine job. But the real test, I believe, we'll get Mom in this a little bit later after the cameras are done rolling and see what she thinks about it as well. We'll also see what it's like getting in and out of it compared to your Avalon. But final thoughts here on the Crown. Is it a worthy upgrade, do you think, from the Avalon?
Well, you probably, but you know.
I'm not trying to sell you.
Yeah.
Like, you've got your car, but
yeah. You trade cars too much, you
lose your value.
You lose a lot of money. But it's a nice car.
So the real question that I led into this with is this Turbo 4 hybrid powertrain the wet blanket, the sad puppy of an engine that you thought maybe it would be, or is it kind of changing your mind a little bit about what a Turbo 4 could be?
Yeah, I believe it's changed it a little bit, you know, but
it's kind of hard from a short, quick test drive.
Quick drive, and I know what you get from a V6, and we've had the Avalon for just about a year, and had it on a couple of road trips, and know how it drives. It's kind of hard to just really compare this and that.
Yeah.
Us being older people, we really don't do a whole lot of fast takeoffs and such as that. We're
more concerned about passing power, and
passing power is what I've looked for, and cruising distance and comfort, and well, just have a nice car.
Yep.
and this is a nice car.
Yep. Well, there you have it, Gearheads. Changed his mind ever so slightly on the Turbo 4 powertrain with the hybrid backup. If you do want to see more from us on this car and many others, you can find us on all social media platforms at GT Garage Talk, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, all the things, YouTube at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. Hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you will see all future videos when they come out, and you will be notified. But yes, we do have my solo review of this video already, or this vehicle already on the channel, where I actually do compare it to his Avalon. Huge thanks to y'all for loaning that to me for that video. And then we also have one with Holly behind the wheel and Tucker in the back seat, where I install his car seat and do the typical family review of the vehicles. But as for us, in the 2023 Toyota Crown Platinum Hybrid Max Turbo 4, all the things. Until next time, Gearheads. Bye. All right, let's see what we can do from a dead stop. Firmly on the brake, flooring the accelerator, Sport S Plus. Let's go. All right. This thing pulls and 60. This thing really does move and has been a blast to drive.